and rotate. And as the airplane gets up, it stops. It's like,
it's like you've gone into space.
It's time to get to gym, right?
For those of you that don't know what we're talking about there, that was Ryan Parrock describing V1 belly.
Are you surprised that you're actually being recorded?
It's recorded already.
We're going. We're running.
Guys, man, you guys do this to me all the time.
What was happening down there?
Now that I know we're recording, I'm not doing it.
Come on.
Something about a V1 something vibration.
Look,
Happens with the front wheel.
yeah, it happens as you get older, and the good old days, and pre-lockdown, still flying, and you knew it was time to get to gym, bashing down the runway and start accelerating, and nose wheels hitting the runway, and then you get this V1 rotate, and it stops. It was always an indicator for me, like, listen, but it's time to get back to Virgin.
I've never had that, right?
Shut up.
Yeah, welcome everyone. I didn't plan to start the show on V1 cut belly, but here we are.
I think everyone's realised we talk about anything and everything.
And I can start the recording any time.
It's supposed to be off camera, a lot of this. You know, what happens at the Brian Air podcast stays at the Brian Air podcast.
Well, it doesn't
nothing
help.
stays in the Brian Air podcast.
Nice.
Bit of news this week. We can stay out till 10 o'clock at night.
Woo! Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
No, it's good for our freedom, huh? To be allowed out until 10.
Yeah. It's it's awesome for the people that live in the Western Cape and KwaZulu-Natal, because you can leisure travel in your own province. I just Google searched last night things to do in Gauteng, and it said please check search results. There was no there were no results.
Or did not come back and say, did you not mean the Western Cape?
Did you not mean the Western
Or
Cape?
KZN?
Well,
Yeah, there was 6 million results for when I searched things to do in the Western Cape over the weekend, and there was about 2 million results in Gauteng. But anyway, at least it's something. They got it's baby steps, but it's something small and moving in the right direction.
They're trying really hard. I mean, if you look at what they promised us, or Cyril, in the beginning of March, he said, we will ensure that COVID funds are not misappropriated. And they're doing well, because we at that stage now, it's July, and they've launched a commission to recover the stolen funds. So at least they're making progress.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
They admitted and figured out that the funds were actually being stolen pretty quickly.
Yeah,
which is a positive.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. It is, it's a win for the tourism sector. And I suppose the more lobbying and the more sort of fighting that goes on, the better. That's why we're pushing that hashtag open the borders, please. Hashtag open the borders, put that on every post. We need those borders open, because it's only really going to move to that next level when we can get business travelers into this country and out of this country, and thereafter the leisure traveling.
I don't know if we discuss the possibilities, but we do. And there's a big possibility that in September, borders will open.
I've heard it.
I've heard it from business side. I've heard it from the international VIP lounges that everyone must get ready for September. First, middle, last September, don't quite know, but sometime in September.
I went online yesterday. I was just looking at interest at overseas flights. I could book an Air France to Paris in 1st of October, so it didn't give me the option for September. I don't know if that means anything. I think that's probably just them pushing it until there's a clearer indication.
Probably just
on
a bit cautious.
Yeah. So
well, we hope.
It's all done. We need it. Things are going to happen.
Things are going to happen. Also, I was messing around there on the interweb, flysafair.com, just for today. A 5 o'clock flight to Cape Town, Joburg, Cape Town, just out of interest. Fly Safair, 1,220 Rand. That's on FA 113. OR to Cape Town. Mango was 1,273 Rand. And Link was 1,006 Rand.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So Link actually was the cheapest out of all those three. and I was chatting to Craig Wood this last week. He sent me a message and he said, just don't forget, Airlink are actually flying to the most destinations in South Africa.
Yeah, they are picking up speed quite a bit.
Yeah, they're flying to the most destinations, so they're actually doing the most in terms of connecting people and moving people around. So yeah, well done to Airlink for that. Tap on the back. I hope it continues. But 1,006 Rand to got to arrange ourselves a business meeting in Cape Town.
Yeah, it cost you 1,000 on top of that just to get a letter of authority from someone in Cape Town that you're coming there for a meeting. The rigmarole
Don't be
around
negative.
it.
Mate, come on.
I've got a few Lanies down there that organize us a discount. Don't make problems where there's a solution.
Yeah, anyway, it is doable. 1,006 Rand's not bad at all. And have you guys been following what's happening in the UK? My aunt lives in the UK. She's sending me all the stuff that's all the news, traveling news there. It's changing on an hourly basis. She's trying to send me the right information so that we don't give the listeners bad information.
Well, if it's bad information, we know where it's come from.
Well, it's changing so often. I'm getting a message every half an hour to say, sorry, this has now changed. I mean,
what are they changing?
Well, people book tickets on holiday to Spain and things like this, and now I think it was last weekend, they implemented a quarantine when you come home.
Yeah.
You got to go back into quarantine, so that takes that out the picture. Then I believe they took it away for a bit, but now it seems to be reinstated. Now they've got visitors to the UK, 14-day quarantine, but it's dual testing as well. So you do your second test sort of 5 days after you arrive at a health testing station. So it just seems quite a bit of a rigmarole, and there's all sorts of things. The CIA there's under big pressure because the airlines are taking quite long to refund passengers for cancelled flights. So they say the sort of airline watchdog has dropped the ball on that. So there's a lot going in the UK.
But the refund issue is a big issue everywhere. Etihad has just been taken to court, and they've lost. They were refusing to refund the airline tickets for the Aussies coming in and out. And they just, I'm not sure what an airline is thinking in that scenario. You are going to get pressure. You've got to look after your customers. And now they've made a big thing that they're refunding everybody, but that was because of a court case, not because they wanted to do the right thing. When lockdown happened, I mentioned before, I was about a flight of Paris and Malta. Let me tell you, Air France refunded me within 24 hours. It was unbelievable. So
they're good.
Certain airlines, great. Other ones, I don't understand what they're thinking.
Yeah, it just seems that I think particularly in the UK, they haven't kind of firmed down their. It's all a bit chaotic, all the travel plans. It's a bit like Boris's haircut, I think.
Which direction isn't going to go today?
Exactly. Depends which way the wind is blowing. But carrying on international news, Croatia borders are open, Denmark borders are open. Denmark is in where?
Where is it? Scandinavia.
That's it.
Is that where it is? Thanks, David.
Yeah, that was, I had to do that. If you don't know what we're talking about, listen to last week's episode.
Did you slip as well?
No, it was just me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. At least I don't.
They have to listen if they don't get it.
Germany's open, Iceland is open, Sardinia is open, Switzerland's opened.
Talking of Europe, I read some news for the pilots and cabin crew of NetJets.
They're in the news a lot at the moment, NetJets.
Yeah. They seem to be opening up a bit more. They're adding another 60 aircraft to their fleet between now and July 2021. And they've committed to reinstating all their furlough pilots and cabin crew. So that's quite cool for them. Obviously not airline guys, but it's a sign. Things are starting to open up.
Yeah, even if it's just in that market,
exactly.
at least it's something.
I think it's going to be one of the markets that bounces back quickest. But I was just thrilled to see that there is some sort of
Movement.
positive news in that direction from them.
And it is positive, even though we know
Mm.
it is going to take 3 years before we're back to those levels. So no matter what happens, and I'm glad that it's all opening,
Yeah.
we've got to understand that those numbers are going to take a little bit of time to get back. But 3 years is, considering a 5 or 6 month lockdown worldwide,
Yeah.
We'll
3
take
years
that.
is 3 years is damn good.
But how's this? I mean, I read there as well, the CEO of Southwest and Alaskan Airlines, they've committed to all their staffs, no retrenchments or furloughs. They're supposed to have something big happen now in October, and there's a message out from him saying they have never furloughed anyone in their 49 years of operations and not planning to start now.
Brilliant.
So
That's awesome.
obviously
news.
it's not a guarantee, but
Yeah.
it's
Well, at
the
least
most-
they're trying.
yeah, it's the most positive
Yeah.
news I've been able to pick up in aviation for a while. So
No, that's good. That's good, and I think even if we can, bring it back here at South Africa, just that little bit of, at least tourism was in the news last night. At least people were talking about things to do, and I know it's a small thing traveling internally inside your domestic or your region, but it's something, and it's out there, and now they were mentioning it last night. The next step is the borders. So we need them open.
Well, for me, what I'm enjoying about this slow reopening is the next step is going to be interprovincial travel. So us Gautengers can go and invade the KZN beaches or the Cape beaches, and hopefully that happens. That for me is going to be a good thing, because people are going to start exploring our country. As opposed to jumping on a plane for 15 hours, more likely jump in a car or a flight down to Durban or Cape Town and go and enjoy South Africa. That
Yeah.
for me is going to be a big positive.
Even something as small as last weekend, I went down to the Modderfontein Nature Reserve for a walk with my wife and my mom and dad, and we would not have done that pre sort of COVID,
Yeah.
but it was awesome. It was
It's a great place to go
It was an awesome thing
Yeah.
to do on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
There was people out there having fun. Everyone was well behaved, walking, getting some exercise, and it was beautiful. So there are things to do, and
Well, the more we spend in the upcoming December holidays in South Africa, all your B&Bs are going to recover from that, or it's going to help them a hell of a lot. The restaurants, it's going to help them. I mean, the tourism, if it's kept within the country, is going to help the economy. And you know what? With the 70 billion IMF loan, we are going to need help to pay that thing back. Without a strong economy, that interest rate, even though it's such a small 1.1%, it's foreign currency. We're going to need to pay that back.
well, let's talk about that a bit more,
Yeah.
because it's a big subject. I mean, SAA obviously, Brett, some of that money going to be used for SAA. Where else is it going to come from?
Well, I can only imagine some of that money is going to go to SAA and Eskom and the other parastatals, PRASA, all the ones, the great non-performing parastatals. But quite honestly, there is no guideline from the IMF. It's got to be responsible spending. What is responsible? And the government effectively is free to do whatever they like with that money, just as long as it gets paid back. I mean, a 40-month payment, they don't have to pay it back in 40 months, but then they got to pay it over the last 20. For me, I don't know. I would have expected a lot more control, but it hasn't happened, which is a concern.
To be clear on the SAA, they haven't said it's coming from the IMF.
No.
They don't
But
know where it's coming
they don't know
from.
where it's coming from.
Yeah.
The plan's going ahead, but there's no description of where that money's coming from.
They're coming out of business rescue, apparently. This was the last article I read. But yeah, with no real idea as to where the funds are coming from. So
Well, there's mixed messages. I mean, 1 minute there's business rescues approved. Next minute, Tito Mboweni says there's no money for business rescue for SA. Next minute, he says
he
yes,
seems
there
like a
is.
bit of a lone wolf in that.
I think he is.
this whole
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
is changing like the weather in Cape Town.
Yeah.
If you don't like the news, just wait half an hour.
Yeah.
It's gonna change. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Tito is definitely. I think
He's more outspoken.
He's way more outspoken. He wants to do things differently, but he's also his portfolio doesn't allow him to do whatever he likes. That's the thing. He's got to toe the line, which is a problem.
He's worth a follow on Twitter. I'd say that you pick up quite a few bits of comedy from him there as well. But let's see where that goes. Obviously, we don't know what the new SAA is. And I mean that it's not going to be what it was. You're not going to have 330s and 340s flying, long haul overseas. We don't know. I don't know. Maybe they carry on domestically. Maybe Mango do that flying for them. Maybe they only do international. There's been no real concrete plan that I've heard of what their intentions are.
Obviously, they've approved it, but they haven't released exactly what that is. We've had an indication before. The number of pilots cut down to virtually nothing. Cabin crew, staff, thousands of retrenchments, but whether or not that's been signed off, nobody quite knows at this stage.
We don't know. I suppose as well, they need to see, what happens. IATA yesterday, I saw a report from them. They're kind of pre-warning passengers that the whole travel experience is going to be totally different. So how you remember it pre-COVID days, expect a whole different setup. Masks, cabin crew will be wearing masks. The whole dining experience in the aircraft's going to be totally different. So when we think of international travel, it's always had that sort of glamour element, which is one of the pulling factors that makes us we all enjoy traveling. But it's going to be different post-COVID. And I suppose SAA, if they do get this right, they're in the perfect position to make the most of however these cards fall. They can actually decide last minute, right, this is what's working, this is what's selling, so let's do it this way. So I hope that's what they're doing. And I still maintain I like to see a South African flag at an international airport when it's a nice feeling, and I still want an international carrier, but it's got to be run properly.
It needs to be something that you're proud of again.
And it can be. There's a good bunch of people there now, and if they keep the right people and get rid of the rubbish, there's a lot more rubbish than good, unfortunately. But if they get rid of the rubbish and they run it properly, and they put someone in charge that knows what an airline is and how to run it, and a financial manager, officer that knows how to handle money and what to spend on, buying the right fleet, employing the right pilots, cabin crew, everyone, top to bottom. If they can do that properly and it works, then no one will be more proud of it than us.
Yeah, exactly.
No, for sure. Is the beeping coming through?
Yeah.
We're running QTGs on the MD.
What are QTGs,
cool.
Ryan?
Those things.
What you said earlier?
Yeah.
The quality test guidance.
Oh, look at
Hey!
that. Hey, look at that. I tell you.
Yeah, sorry, the beeping there, we're running
hasn't wiped everything out.
QTGs on the MD-80 behind us, and making a bit of a noise, but I'm sure you'll forgive us. Thanks for Ryan. The pilot guy was out campaigning yesterday for the Brian Air podcast. I think he must have gone to every single house in his estate to get whoever he could find to subscribe to the show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man.
Did you say you got the Pretoria Girls High School to subscribe?
No, I haven't thought about that. Waterkloof High.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, connection of mine with Waterkloof High. But now that you mention it, Pretoria Girls High.
Yes.
Good try, but I'm going to leave it up to you because I don't want to be the creepy uncle saying, "Have you subscribed?" No, listen, it was awesome. Yesterday I was on a bit of a campaign trail, and everyone I came across was keen to help us and support us and hit that subscribe button. So yeah, I got all fired up just watching those numbers climb.
We got so much support last week. There were so many nice messages from everyone. Thanks for that. And it keeps getting better and better for us, I think, as well, because the more input we get from everyone else, it actually kind of gives us clarity on what we must talk about the next week. So thanks for all the support. keep those YouTube subscriptions going. Yeah.
And we got to say thanks to the winner of the hamper.
That was my aunt in the UK.
Do you think there's a little bit of incest happening here? But let me just...
And then what happened was she asked, can that hamper be redirected to my mom?
Well, I was going to say, what is in the hamper is a shirt from me to her. And she is Daddy's co-pilot. You want me to send that to your mom?
Yeah. I think I'm not sure my dad will be too chuffed with that. But and we're putting some mugs in there. This is from
Gavin.
Gavin.
Yeah, Gavin and Mitzi. They again one of our close friends that are out there trying to start a small business.
Well, they have started.
Yeah, they're on their way. And this is where our personalised mugs come from. Pretty awesome. So that'll be in the hamper.
And if you want some of those, details in the show notes.
Yep.
Just drop them a message, and you can get some. It's so cool that everyone is trying something.
It is.
And just the best way to get something going is just to start. Just start.
Yeah.
You can plan and plan and plan.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the only way, and at least I think a lot of people have done that, and it's awesome to see.
I'm quite proud of a lot of our colleagues at Saks. I mean, Gavin and Mitzi to mention, Heystek and Michelle with Heymic t-shirts and a lot of the other things that they're doing. Rigardt has started a furniture and wood trinkets business. The guys are getting out there fired up, and they're making things happen. So it's awesome to see.
Rigardt's details were put there as well.
Yeah.
But you're seeing it all over the world, which is really cool. I got to give a shout out. I never say shout out to anybody. You guys just take the field all the time. But my dad can't wait to hear the podcast. He always has dodgy comments about the two of you, but nevertheless, I mean, and my niece and nephew in Vancouver, all the way in Vancouver, they cannot wait to hear Tyler and Dana, and great kids, and they've also, awesome. Tyler's also started a business, Real Wardrobe he does clothing with Braille on it.
That's awesome.
Brilliant, just
brilliant.
Creative,
Well,
really cool.
Sending you guys some love back here from our studio here at Samira.
Yeah.
And the support is fantastic. Have you guys noticed, Brett? You quite good with this stuff. If you sort of scrolling through LinkedIn and just trying to get an idea of what's out there and what's available, have you noticed a trend where that experience? Whenever there was a job, the thing highlighted at the top was 5 years experience in the industry required. Is that like sort of falling away? Because there was an IT owner, a business guy on LinkedIn. He made a post, and he was actually commenting on an advert for his own company that he saw. And the advert said you need 4 years of coding experience. And the owner of this company popped up and said that's more experience than what he's actually got. He started the company 2 years ago with no experience.
Yeah.
And I noticed that sort of must have experience, but is falling away, and it's sort of replaced with must work hard and must be dynamic and authentic. And is there a bit of a trend?
There definitely is. I was listening this morning on the way to the office. Guys are taking positions in anything they can get their hands on. Ideally, they aim for the industry that they know. But they're going for any position, and the guys are starting to realize if there's enthusiasm, if there's a willingness to work hard, to learn, they'd rather have that guy in than someone that walks in with a degree and says, I've got all the experience and I demand X, whatever it is. It's the industry's changing completely.
That's where I maintain that this whole COVID pandemic is going to sort out.
Don't mention COVID.
I do it again. Okay, well,
Captain COVID.
Go on a captioners.
Can you hold that thought? We're going to go back to that. But I am so sick of this COVID story. Growing up in the 80s, did your mom used to watch one of these soapies that was,
those Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, those stories, and they go on and on and on. And when the story gets weaker and weaker and weaker, it ends up like one of the characters has an affair with an alien or something.
I think that actually happened.
Yeah.
I could have sworn I remember
How much of that
something
stuff
like that.
did you watch?
I watched a lot. That's why I'm so sensitive. But you
As
want
though it's because you're from Devon.
Well, that's where sensitive comes from.
But you know what I'm getting to here. This story, if you put on CNN, you watch the story and it goes on and on. I'm over it.
They
I'm
talk
over
about
it.
talk about the same thing over and over, and it like that. Those soapies. Wait, there's gonna be an alien invasion. There's gonna be another COVID 20 or 21.
Let me stop you there. The aliens are already here, but
They are, but
they're running South Africa.
well. And the Pentagon agreed to it, so they released a whole lot of stuff that aliens are real, and and they released it during the period of the pandemic, and nobody responded to it. It should have been the world's biggest news, and everyone's like, "No, we're dying from the flu.
No,
Don't worry about the aliens."
I'm just, you know, I know it is a pandemic and it's bad but
can kill. We know that.
It
And
can,
it does.
but,
But
you know,
still.
can we, or maybe our listeners, and we can try this thing. Let's not. A fire needs fuel. If you stop feeding this thing with energy and watching it on television and talking about it and having this, you know, maybe we can start something very small where we just don't feed this fire.
Well, how about
I'm done with this COVID. I think it's taken jobs. It's taken our jobs.
Yeah.
It's ruined the lives of millions and millions of people. I'm done. It's over. If you see me, don't ask me about COVID. Don't talk about COVID. Don't have it on. I'll wear the mask. I'll clean my hands. But I'm done.
From now, #kill COVID.
Yeah,
Stop
kill
listening
COVID.
to CNN, Sky News, EWN. Listen to the Brian Air podcast. You're going to get more truth, more honesty, and a hell of a lot more imperfection than anywhere else.
Exactly.
Okay? No more COVID nonsense.
Really.
Hey,
It's
that's
done.
it. Right, back to what you were saying.
I was going to try and say that. Yes, you know, you made me lose my train of thought. No.
Really?
I was going to say that this whole thing is going to sort out the weeds from the seeds. You know, you've lost everything. You've got to reinvent yourself. Just come out there strong. And the days of having to apply for a job where you had this list of qualifications from some institution, that's gone. You just got to show good attitude, hard work, right ethics, and you'll make it. And that's what I'm loving about it.
He's knocking the desk more today than you.
Have I knocked it?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just got little purple handcuffs in
I'm
mind.
fired up.
He's ready today. But we've been talking for 30 minutes already. I just want to give for the aviation guys, the pilots and that out there, for those of you that haven't seen the Aviation 4 SA website and app, Craig Wood, it's his company, he runs the whole show. It's a fantastic app, it really is. Craig's been a hell of a supportive guy to our show, gives us good advice on that, and the program, the application that he's put together there is great. We use it here at SimAero, keeps us up to date with the latest publications and things like that. So if you want to stay on top of the game, that's the only place to go, really. It's the easiest. I don't know if anyone's tried to navigate the CIA website, but not the easiest thing in the world. And Craig's app is well worth it. So aviation4sa.co.za. Go check it out. They've got I don't think
Not on Apple, it's only an Android.
It's only Android for now, but the Apple is coming out.
Yeah.
I think it's in its beta phase or that. But well worth it to have a look.
Absolutely.
Shucks.
I didn't know we were going out for lunch, but we clearly are.
We
now.
are now.
No, we
Now
are.
we are.
No,
I
Ryan.
guess drop the ball again.
Ryan, the pilot guy. He's going to work on his V1 belly.
You guys can order the Zars. I'm going to have a sandwich.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Check old Bob and Doug are going to be returning from the ISS this weekend, eh? I think it's tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Mm.
How long
Yeah.
have they been there? 2 months already?
Yeah.
3 months.
And yeah, it was 100 odd
The
days.
2 luckiest pilots in the world.
Yeah, do they actually know what they're coming back
No.
to?
I'd rather stay up there.
Yeah. I mean, they only missed Oshkosh.
They missed Oshkosh. Oh, so we're gonna try and put Mitzi as well. So we spoke about the mugs. They're doing printing. So if you want,
Yeah, printing and photography and everything. Yeah, we've got some awesome photographs from them from when they were in Oshkosh 2 years ago.
When was Oshkosh supposed to be? Last week?
Yeah, yeah. So it's another big aviation event that got faxed by this.
Don't say
I'm
it.
not
Don't
saying
say it.
Ooh.
But yeah, again, details there in the show notes, and if you want to contact them, help support some fellow aviation enthusiasts, then please do so.
Yeah.
And yeah, with us again, thanks for all the support. So I'll always do you guys want to do the ending this time?
Yeah, I've got something.
Do it.
Stay attitude positive, COVID negative.
Yes.
You knew you let him do that.
Once you let a little bit of rope. Do you like my slogan?
Love it.
Somewhat dry, somewhat informative, never perfect Brian A podcast. See you next week. Brett.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Ciao.
Well, that's all for this week, folks. Thanks for listening and for your continued support. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and pass the show on to your friends, your families, and your colleagues. If you'd like to get in touch with us, my email address is in the show details. Stay positive, keep the passion alive, and we'll see you next week. Cheers for now.